Shalom, friends, and it's good to be with you. I'm not saying shalom, shalom. I was asked about that by Sydney, and let me just say that the only reason I say it twice has to do with just emphasis. Not too much different than the way the Torah this week speaks about one of the most famous verses in the Torah. Tzedek, tzedek, tirdof. Justice, justice you shall pursue. This is a very famous verse. You can see it on walls in synagogues. You can see it in Jewish institutions devoted to social justice. But it's not just be just or do justice. It says tirdof, pursue justice. You see, the Hebrew word tirdof comes from radaf, to chase after something. Rodef, to be a chaser. Usually in the Bible, when someone is a rodef pursuing, they're chasing an enemy. Pharaoh, you see, pursues the Israelites. Armies pursue other armies. And a pursuer is someone who refuses to let go of the object of the pursuit. And here the Torah takes this aggressive word and applies it to something very holy. Chase after justice. So perhaps the Torah is teaching us something very important about the world. Justice doesn't just happen. Goodness does not simply happen. A decent society does not simply happen. If we want these things, we have to chase after them. And that is true not only for societies, it's true for our own lives. We sometimes imagine that becoming a good person is something that happens naturally. We assume that if we have good intentions, we will somehow become more patient, more generous, more compassionate and forgiving. But Judaism is skeptical of that assumption, for the Torah tells us, tirdof, pursue it. If you want to become more compassionate, pursue compassion. If you want to become more generous, pursue generously. If you want to repair a relationship, pursue reconciliation. If you want to become wiser, pursue wisdom. And if you want to become closer to God, pursue holiness. Because the things that matter most rarely come looking for us. We have to go looking for them. But there's another fascinating detail in this verse. For the Torah says, tzedek, tzedek, as I mentioned in the beginning. Justice, justice. Why say the word twice? And there's so many commentaries on this, so many. But one particularly meaningful interpretation, that it is not just enough to pursue a just result. We must pursue justice, a justice that is just. We cannot build goodness through cruelty. We cannot create peace by humiliating people. We cannot defend the truth by abandoning truthfulness. We cannot repair the world while destroying one another. The goal matters, but the road that we take towards that goal matters too. This is an extremely relevant Jewish teaching because we live in an age of enormous moral certainty. Everyone seems so certain that they're right, certain that the other side is wrong, certain that their cause is so important that almost anything can be justified in defending it. And Shoftim comes to disrupt that certainty. Tzedek, tzedek, tirdof. Pursue justice. Fight for what you believe is right. Speak when something is wrong. But remember, your opponent is still a human being. The person with whom you disagree is still created B'Tselem Elohim, in the image of God. The dignity we demand for ourselves must also be extended to others. And perhaps there's an even more personal message here. Most of us are very good at identifying injustice when someone else commits it. We know when someone has treated us unfairly. We remember the insulting comment, and we remember who didn't call us. We remember who disappointed us. We remember who owes us an apology. Shoftim asks a more difficult question. How vigorously do I pursue justice when I am the one who may have caused the hurt? When I have spoken too harshly, when I have failed to listen, when I've judged someone too quickly, when I've taken someone for granted. It's easy to pursue justice when justice means correcting someone else. It's much harder when justice requires correcting ourselves. And perhaps that's why we read Shoftim at this particular moment in the Jewish calendar, because we have just entered the month of Elul, and soon we'll stand together on Rosh Hashanah. Soon we'll hear the shofar. Soon we'll say the words of Avinu Malkeinu. And soon we will come to Yom Kippur and recite Al Chet. The great spiritual work of this season is about to begin, and before it does, the Torah gives us our assignment. Tzedek, tzedek tirdov. Go looking. Look at your relationships. Look at your habits. Look at your words. Look at the promises you've made and look at the people you love. Look at the person you have become during the past year and ask, where is there something that needs to be made right? Maybe there's a phone call we've been postponing. Maybe there's an apology we owe. Maybe there's someone who needs our forgiveness. Maybe there is someone who simply needs to hear, I've been thinking of you. Maybe there's something within ourselves that we know needs to change. The Torah doesn't ask us to fix everything today. It asks us to begin pursuing. But perhaps the deepest meaning of tzedek, tzedek tirdov is that a Jewish life is never spiritually stationary. There's always another act of kindness to perform, another relationship to repair, and another truth to learn, another person to understand, and another part of us, of ourselves, to improve. Maybe this is what the Torah says, why the Torah says pursue, tirdov, because we may never completely catch justice. We may never completely catch holiness. We may never become exactly the people we hope to be, but Judaism teaches us there's hope. There's holiness in the pursuit itself. So, as we approach these high holidays, let us consider pursuing in ourselves to become a little more just, a little more compassionate, and a little more worthy of the new year that lies ahead. We'll conclude with the Mourner's Kaddish as we do every week. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah. B'yalma divra kirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala v'izman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam le'omei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitbawar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yidaleh v'yidalal shemei d'kudishah b'richu. Li'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiram b'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Aseh shalom b'imram avu yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Thank you, friends, for being with us again this week. We'll see you in the week to come. Have a good one.